you hear those bells? Cool, right? Good morning, everyone. I am Karen LeBlanc, and I minister to this congregation as we minister to each other. So good to see you today. We are a beloved community of people who believe that everyone is worthy of respect, that science is real, and that the democratic process is a sacred thing. We are all part of an interconnected web, and that the energy and light we share that we share and put out makes a difference in this world. We are people of purpose, and if what you hear today resonates with you, we hope you become part of this family of way cool seekers and keepers of this long dream. Couple little housekeeping points and announcements. Let's see, masks, everybody's got their masks on. These two kids are fine. Good to see them again. Nothing makes me smile like a pair of cute little kids, boy. We are streaming live today, so please keep that in mind. If you would like to come up and share something, be aware that other people will be able to hear it outside this room. Coffee hour is still unfortunately canceled very shortly, though. As soon as that weather turns, we will open up the back doors and have coffee hour out in the yard, I promise. Flowers for Easter in your order of service. There is an order form, and there are also order forms at the back and the front of the church for Easter flowers to contribute to that fund. They're very reasonable. Oh, please put your phones into silent mode, worship mode, as we say here. And we are recording this and streaming it on YouTube, our YouTube channel, so like and subscribe, hit that notification button. We've got to sell it now, come on. All right, we are going to light, Dee, would you like to light the chalice for us? I already have a match out and everything. I am the prepared. Sometimes. The reading for the chalice lighting is from Reverend Suzelle Lynch. The fire of love burning deep in every human heart calls us to awaken. Awaken to the work of justice. Awaken to the work of compassion. Awaken to the work of community. For in this time of human suffering and exaltation, we are called beyond awakening and into action. May the chalice flame we now light guide our hearts in service to a greater good that holds all living things in its holy embrace. Amen to that. And our opening words this morning are from the incomparable Reverend Gretchen Haley. It is called Awaken to This Gift. All of these are used by permission, of course. Open the door of your hesitant heart. Let the light shine on all the sleeping shadows. Awaken to this day that offers itself to you and to all with a great extravagance. Awaken to this gift, this beauty, this chance, that we might still begin again, begin anew, that we might be changed by the in and out of breath, that we might still burst forth like the crocuses, that we might still surprise this earth with a new song, sung together, calling us all in, and then sending us back out, and know it all as a blessing. Come, let us worship together today. And now, if you will stand in body or spirit as you are willing and or able, join me in our first hymn, which is number 44. We sing of golden mornings. now take the time to greet one another, say hello. Everybody wants to meet the little cute faces. And now we're going to recite our covenant, which is printed in your order of service. We come together as a religious community, upholding freedom of conscience, right relationship, and the inherent worth of all people. We value our diversity and pledge to care for one another in the spirit of compassion, to speak and listen to each other with respect, and to promote justice and kindness in the world. Please be seated. Later. I can't tell if it's on. Is it on? It's on. It's on. Yes. Now is the time in our service where we share with each other our joys, our sorrows, our concerns. No, this is not on. We'll use this one. I did want to use it to sing later, so maybe we can make it on between now and then. Thanks, Randy. Now is the time in our service where we share with each other our joys, our sorrows, our concerns, our awakenings. So anyone who would like to share something, please come on up and share it with us. Deb, I see Deb.
My name is Deb, and in the spirit of the awakening of all things, my husband and I are beekeepers, and we got 2 new shoe boxes of bees yesterday and put them in their hives, and one of them is fine, and the other one, the queen got out, and so it looked okay this morning, but there is a little concern. So if you wish to think kind thoughts about the queen for our hive, that would be great.
Good thoughts to the queen. A couple things. Our sexton is not here today. Our new sexton, Sean, you might have seen him. You can't miss him. He's about 6 foot, 7 foot. And he got COVID last week. He's doing much better. He is absolutely fine. I checked in with him this morning, and he sends his love, and he will be back next week. But he's good. Come on, Nicole.
Good morning, I'm Nicole, and I have a joy of mine to share with all of you. I'm a Canadian citizen. I've lived in the United States for 7 years. I've been married to my amazing husband, Ed, for 5 of those years, and we have 3-year-old twins. And it's been an arduous process, and it's taken forever, but I am finally a permanent resident of the United States of America. So very, very grateful for that.
I'm going to light a candle of joy. Oh, come on up, Eileen. I'll tell you about that candle of joy while she's walking up here. Eli Dorsey, who has been joining us in several of our conversations on Feed Your Soul Sunday, has been finagled into being the new chair of the Social Justice Committee. So yay, we have a new Social Justice Committee, or we have a chair. Now we need a committee, so we'll be looking for you.
I want to put together a group of people who are interested in keeping this church going. And in order to do that, I think we should have a brainstorming session, which I'd like to have on the Saturday before Palm Sunday at 1 o'clock in the parish hall. So next week, yeah. So I hope you'll all come and bring your ideas. And the way we're going to do this is you just throw out ideas. No editing, no commentary, just throw out ideas. And I've seen this work. After you have a whole bunch of ideas, you kind of look at them, and they begin to form patterns, and you can put together some action items. So I think this is a valuable exercise, and we really need to do this because we want this church to be here for a long time.
Amen to that, Eileen. If you come earlier than 1 o'clock, you can go to our thrift store. Put in a little plug for that. But that's a great idea. We will send it out in the newsletter this week. 1 o'clock on Saturday. That sounds terrific.
Good morning. My name's Amanda. My wife Ashley and I joined here in September, and we've been trying to get pregnant for just over a year now, and we're going to be going into our first round of IVF in the next coming month. So if I could just get good vibes sending to us, because we're hoping that sooner than later we can expand our family. Thank you.
Oh, that's terrific. All right, anyone else? All right, I'm going to close this down. We'll light 2 final candles, as is our practice here, one for all the joys and the concerns we keep in our heart, and one for all those people who have yet to find a great place like this to share with each other. Our first reading this morning is from John O'Donohue. This is from Beauty, the Invisible Embrace. We live between the act of awakening and the act of surrender. Each morning we awaken to the light and the invitation to a new day in the world of time. Okay. Just get the ambiance. Each night we surrender to the dark, to be taken to play in the world of dreams where time is no more. At birth, we were awakened and emerged to become visible in the world. At death, we will surrender again to the dark to become invisible. Awakening and surrender. They frame each day and each life. Between them, the journey where anything can happen, the beauty and the frailty. Please join me now in the spirit of prayer and meditation. The prayer this morning is from Reverend Tamara Lieback. Holy One, who has given us the breath of life, today we remember to breathe deeply, to rest, to take in, to pause before we act, and then take in another deep breath, poised on the edge, and risk jumping in. Risk taking action. Risk speaking up. Risk using the gifts we have been given so that at the end of our life we can say with absolute clarity that no part of our existence was wasted in fear of failure or fear of success. Hold us. Prepare us the way to begin to offer the gift of our awakened presence, full of love and light today. These and the prayers of our hearts we lift up now. Amen. I'm also going to read for you a meditation also from John O'Donohue called For the Interim Time. When near the end of day, life has drained out of light, and it is too soon for the mind of night to have darkened things. No place looks like itself. Loss of outline makes everything look strangely in between, unsure of what has been or what might come. In this wan light, even trees seem groundless. In a while it will be night, but nothing here seems to believe the relief of dark. You are in this time of the interim, where everything seems withheld. The path you took to get here has washed out. The way forward is still concealed from you. The old is not old enough to have died away. The new is still too new to be born. You cannot lay claim to anything in this place of dark. Your eyes are blurred and there is no mirror. Everyone else has lost sight of your heart, and you can see nowhere to put your trust. You know you have to make your own way through. As far as you can, hold your confidence. Do not allow your confusion to squander this call, which is loosening your roots in false ground, that you might come free from all you have outgrown. What is being transfigured here is your mind, and it is difficult and slow to become new. The more faithfully you can endure here, the more refined your heart will become for your arrival in the new dawn. Please join me in a moment of silence. playing the organ while he's up there, and it's pretty cool to watch. Our second reading this morning is also from John O'Donohue. The liturgy of dawn signals the wonder of the arriving day. Magic of darkness breaking through into color and light is such a promise of invitation and possibility. No wonder we always associate the hope and urgency of new beginning with the dawn. Each day is the field of brightness where the invitation of our life unfolds. A new day is an intricate and subtle matrix. Written into its mystery are the happenings sent to awaken and challenge us. No day is ever the same, and no day stands still. Each one moves through a different territory, awakening new beginnings. A day moves forward in moments, and once a moment has flickered into life, it vanishes and is replaced by the next. It is fascinating that this is where we live, within an emerging lacework that continually unravels. Often a fleeting moment can hold a whole sequence of future in distilled form. That unprepared second when you look into a parent's eye and saw death already beginning to loom, or the second you noticed a softening in someone's voice and you knew that a friendship was beginning, or catching your partner's gaze and knowing that love surrounds you. Each day is seeded with recognition. Please rise as you are willing and able and join with me in our second hymn, number 357, Bright Morning Stars. Stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Please be seated. I sing that song all the time a cappella, and it's so hard to go back to singing it like it's written here. I had to keep going back and try to follow the notes, and it's hard when your mind does it differently. Now is the time in our service where we ask you for your very kind donations toward the good works of this church. You should have gotten a pledge card. Please fill that out. We had great success getting our pledges back this year, and we sure thank you for your kindness. Okay. I'm going to be kind today and give you a fairly short sermon. This month's Soul Matters theme, as you might be aware, is awakening. It's a fitting topic as we watch the natural world reveal itself a little more each day, awakening to spring. We give witness to the wonder of birth and rebirth. And just as no 2 days are ever the same, no 2 springs are ever the same, right? Peepers can be early or late. Either way, they're a sweet surprise that makes me giddy, and I love it when they're peeping and peeping and peeping all night, and then all of a sudden, it's quiet. You go, boy, those peepers were loud. But you know that there's no going back once you hear them, right? It's spring. It's really here. About 10 days ago, I saw a female red-winged blackbird. A few of them arriving in my yard much sooner than they usually do and squawking at the males, asking why the heck the nests aren't ready yet. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. I'm getting better at my bird language. And there's this one yard on Hedge Street in Fairhaven that gets the most beautiful covering of crocuses, purple and white and blue. And it expands every year, gets bigger, and I make it a point to drive by all the time as soon as I can in the spring, just waiting for them to pop. And I stop for a minute and take it in. Friday around 6 o'clock, I watched 2 rabbits having a ball, jumping at each other. And I don't mean just like rabbit jumping. I mean, they were jumping really high at each other. It was the strangest thing I've seen, but they seemed like a lovely couple. And I look forward to the baby bunnies that will likely be weaned under my front porch as generations before them have been. Spring is full of delightful surprises unfolding every day on our landscape, isn't it? Both of our readings and our meditation this morning ended up being from John O'Donohue. Now, John O'Donohue is a modern Irish poet, and philosopher, and theologian. He was a Catholic priest for 9 years. Sadly, he passed away in 2008. But I discovered him in seminary, and he has become one of my very favorite go-to people for spiritual development personally. As you can see how many different little bookmarks I've got in here. He's well read in this sanctuary. And there are plenty of great readings to choose from for this week, but his voice has always spoken to me as a writer. And he reminds me of spring somehow. His authenticity and his clear, what I think to be quintessentially Irish gift for translating deep emotions, spiritual pathfinding, and wondrous mystery into simple, beautiful language can be breathtaking and sometimes even life-changing. He has a deep connection to the natural world. He often describes really detailed landscapes, but he simultaneously describes our life landscapes in such a way that you quickly understand that it isn't about the dirt we walk upon that he's talking about, but how people know themselves and move through the world. It's really interesting to read him. There's a great podcast on being. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. Krista Tippett, terrific. I'm not even sure if they're still making it, but he did an interview back in 2005 that if you haven't listened to, find a time. It's on YouTube. Just look up John O'Donohue on being. It's a fascinating conversation, and he's got a great way about him. So he talks about how we connect with each other and with the earth. He says, the liturgy of dawn signals the wonder of the arriving day. Magic of darkness breaking through into color and light is such a promise of invitation and possibility. No wonder we always associate the hope and urgency of new beginning with the dawn. Each day is the field of brightness where the invitation of our life unfolds. What a lovely image. When I think of a field of brightness, it's filled with daffodils and its temperature is hovering right around 68. That's perfect for me. But it's difficult to look at each day, each and every day, with that kind of brightness, right? Every day is not bright, within us or without us. It wouldn't be natural if it was. Some days are gray and stormy inside when it's sunny outside. Some days a wind blows right through you, blows you over, even when there's not a breeze in the air. John O'Donohue says something more reasonable to me in the second reading. No day is ever the same, and no day stands still. Each one moves through a different territory, awakening new beginnings. It is fascinating that this is where we live, within an emerging lacework that continually unravels. Often a fleeting moment can hold a whole sequence of the future in distilled form. Each day is seeded with recognitions. And it is fascinating when you think about it, isn't it? How the lacework of our lives continually unravels, changes continually, how we emerge continually from the cold into the warmth, how the wheel always turns, and we get pulled with it. Maybe that's what O'Donohue meant when he said in the first reading that we live between the act of awakening and the act of surrender. They frame each day and each life. Between them, the journey where anything can happen, the beauty and the frailty. We awaken to each day, sunny and warm or cold and gray. And anything can happen. It's almost brave to get out of bed in the morning when anything can happen, right? We don't like to think we have so little control. We have to surrender to the chaos of linear time, accept these days one after another, each seated with its own little recognitions, moments of grace. We have to surrender to the fact that beauty and frailty walk together with us. We are all beautiful and frail. The earth is beautiful and frail. Life is beautiful and frail. Every giant redwood began as a delicate little seed, and all the right conditions had to happen to allow it to grow so long and so strong, to get it to grow in the first place. It's all maddeningly tenuous, isn't it? It's chancy, dicey, precarious, uncertain. And we walk this journey every day with this awareness. We awaken, we grow, and we have the opportunity to become something new every day, because change is the rule. It is not the exception. Becoming something new is not simply about finding your true self either, but also about untangling from your old self. Albert Schweitzer said, "The path of awakening is not about becoming who you are. Rather, it is about unbecoming who you are not." Now there's a challenge. Unbecoming sounds like hard work, a little harder than becoming even. A lot of spiritual journeys begin with a leaving, a separation, a decision to walk away from something or someone. Awakening from grief. Oh, the first step can be laced with mourning and isolation. An awakening from grief and loss in whatever form, and that healing that we have to do afterward cannot be rushed, just as pulling on new shoots does not help them grow. Sometimes we hibernate. There's a quote from Anais Nin that speaks to this. She says, "You live like this, sheltered in a delicate world, and you believe you are living. Then you read a book, Lady Chatterley, for instance, or you take a trip, or you talk with someone, and you discover that you are not living, that you are hibernating. Monotony, boredom, death. Millions live like this or die like this without even knowing it. They work in offices, they drive a car, they picnic with their families, they raise children. And then some shock treatment takes place, a person, a book, a song, and it awakens them and saves them. We understand how depression does that to us, right? It lets us sleep through days, quite literally sometimes. And for some, especially those who isolate themselves, they might never wake up. They might die asleep. But for most people, we do get saved from that awful end because we start to awaken little by little, gently. And one day something clicks, something changes, and it is usually something small, like Anais Nin describes. One day we find that there's a genuinely easy smile on our face, after years maybe of forced smiles. And it was because we heard a song that said everything that we can't say. Or we encountered a passage in a book that tells us something we had no idea we really needed to know. And it speaks directly to our hearts. Or cute, silly little kids make us laugh and help us remember how much wonder there is in the world. The word awakening literally means to spring into being. And that's kind of what it feels like when you go through dark times and get to the other side, when we shake off the cold, when there's a winter in our soul and we feel it begin to warm. We can feel the constancy of the power of being reborn, just as the earth is, even if it's chancy and risky, even if anything can happen. We know that stagnation is not an option if we want to live and live well. So this month, let the joy of the awakening world make you smile and remind you that rebirth happens. May you be inspired to plant something new, be it something tangible or something that's an idea. Be patient. Remember that those new shoots take time to grow. Clean out the dust of winter and let the rains wash over you and refresh you, knowing that for sure there are fields of brightness to walk in, just around the corner. The world is alive, so be alive in the world. Maybe the trick is to open your eyes, but keep dreaming. What do you think? Thus ends my sermon, and I am going to sing for you a song that I wrote called Awaken. Don't like how this stupid thing fits my head. Then I got a tiny little, skinny little head, so. All right, it's on. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Can you hear me? Can we hear? Test. Oh, there we go. Test, 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 test. Test. Yeah, that sounds good, I think, I guess, I hope. So I have been struggling with some terrible arthritis in my hands and trigger finger, and luckily I can still play this song because there is no D in it. because you do it with my thumb doesn't work. Thumb don't work no more. Okay. Oh, God. So I probably wrote this around 20 years ago now. I was still in a band. This is called Awaken. Go nowhere, go elsewhere. Let me start that all over again, since that just fell out of my pocket because I'm sitting on it. This is why I don't use this darn thing. It's so old and weird, and I got glasses and masks. Excuse me. All right, there's a reason we have boobs. Go nowhere, go elsewhere, drink in pure silence, scream out loud, breathe in, breathe out. Here is where yourself is found. Be honest, be naked, break through the walls, open the doors. Be well of more. That is what this life is for. Stay up late, awaken, give birth to something that is real. Don't try, just feel. Leave your heart open to steal. Let it go, let light shine, figure out something divine. Work it hard and don't complain. No 2 days ever the same. Walk outside, step inside, just expect nothing and you can't lose. See red, see blues. Lay out all your cards and choose. Let it go, let light shine, figure out something divine. Work it hard and don't complain. No 2 days ever the same. Go nowhere, go elsewhere, drink in pure silence, scream out loud. Breathe in, breathe out. Thank you. You might have recognized sort of one of that line in the chorus that no 2 days ever the same, and I wrote this song long before I ever read John O'Donohue, who also said that same darn thing, that no 2 days are ever the same. I think you're doing it right if no 2 days are ever the same. Thank you everyone for coming this morning. Hold fast, good people. We love you. I did announce you earlier, Eli, if that's what you're wondering about. Let me finish up this service. Hold on. Let me finish up the service. Hold fast. We love you. Stay strong. Live long and prosper. Woo! Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Oh.